So let's kick it off with a little PLU football. We knew Lewis and Clark wasn't a great football team going into Saturday's game. They're getting closer and closer all the time, from what I hear from the guys who are on the PLU football team and around it. But it was pretty much a perfect senior day for those PLU seniors. So would you agree with that?
Yes, the day could not have gone any better. Little rainy out there, but that can't hurt. PLU seniors scored 5 of the 7 total touchdowns. John Schaub had 3 in the first quarter. Justin Lind had added 2 touchdowns for the Lutes. Kellen caught a ball from John for a touchdown and had 100 yards receiving. Nice job, Kellen. Darren Hardgrove ran one in and also had over 100 yards rushing. And that's just the seniors, guys. The whole team had an awesome effort this last weekend, and it was just really fun to watch.
Well, I think John Schaub proved what we have known and talked about in this room all along, that John Schaub is the number 1 quarterback for a reason. He is the best quarterback in that room, and it's very obvious. However, after about that 3rd touchdown, I was screaming at my laptop to get him out of the game. Get him out. He doesn't need to be in there anymore. Take him out. And so he comes out of the game. In comes Walker Lavoie. Now, Cole better watch his back, because Cole could be out of a job soon. If
he better watch his shoulder.
Yeah, Walker continues to throw the ball this way. Walker Lavoie is spinning it. 15 for 18, still on the ball well. He's got great footwork. And then the play of the day for me was, who is Hoover? Who in the world is Nolan Hoover? Comes in, 3-step drop, throws an absolute winning ball. I was like, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, and out comes Walker Lavoie, it comes Hoover. I was like, who is that? All of a sudden just spins it. I was like, that kid can throw the ball. He's got great footwork. I was excited. The PLU quarterback position looks up for the future. I think that they're going to miss John and John's leadership, but I think they got a couple capable guys in the room. Just got to tip my hat to Darren Hardgrove, back-to-back 100-yard rushing weekends. Never happened in PLU history, so it's good for him.
Yeah, it was just so fun to get everybody in, Christian, and that was our goal as a senior class, was we wanted to get the young guys into the football game. Last year, we weren't able to do that. And even 2 years ago, when we almost made the playoffs at 7-2, we didn't quite close out teams. We kept teams around. We kind of spun our wheels. And so for us to get some young guys in was new for us for PLU football in the last 3 years. So that was our goal. We did that. No offense to Jay Losey, who's doing a great job over at Lewis and Clark, but we easily could have put 70 on those guys. Mm-hmm. But we wanted to run the football kind of towards the end of the second half and just grind it out. And I think I ended up coming out of the football game with about 8:25 left in the third quarter. So, if our stars would have stayed in the football game, it could have been a bigger score. That's kind of what Linfield likes to do. They like to kind of put 70 points on guys. That's just not quite us. We're not a stats team. We want to get everybody in, and that's what we did, Christian. So, other than the rain, it was a great senior day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about in a 48-14 football game. So let's go over it. Who is your hero from the game?
So my hero from the game was sophomore running back TJ Morris. I love when guys, when their numbers are called and they take advantage of that playing time, and that's exactly what TJ Morris did. He had his first collegiate touchdown, had 5 carries for 53 yards, averaging 10.6 yards per carry, and he solidified his name in the offense. Now we have a special package for him called TJ Teal. Don't tell anybody, folks. TJ Teal is what that formation is called.
You just told everybody.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely right.
I'm excited to see the kid run the ball.
So TJ Teal, that's what it's called. Sorry, Dad. But that's what it's called, and we're excited to see him continue to play. He's probably the fastest player on our football team, straight line speed. His quick burst, Mark and Ethan and Darren would admit to that as well. So it's exciting to see him grow again. He's only a sophomore, and so it's going to be fun to see what he does this weekend against Linfield and for the years to come.
Lacey, who you got? Who's your hero from the game?
It's just so hard since everyone did so well, especially those younger guys. Kellen, you hit on it. Just taking advantage of their opportunity out there was so fun to watch. But I'm going to have to go with senior Justin Lind. Had a great game. He had 3 catches for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I love watching Justin because when he catches a ball, he'll have sometimes 2, 3, sometimes 4 guys hanging on him, and he will just get that extra yard. And it's so fun to watch. People in the stands are like, how does he do that? And I don't know, Kellen, I heard a rumor that they were maybe going to put him at running back for a couple plays in that last game just to see how he would do. Is
Yeah,
that
quick
true?
side note. So that is true. And then Ben Welch was also supposed to be coming in motion, and he was going to get an option pitch. But Walker Lavoie, being a savvy veteran, only a sophomore, he's not a veteran, but already being a veteran with how many games he's played, checked out of the play, checked slant to Matt Ogard. So Ben Welch is super mad at Walker because Ben didn't quite get that option pitch. So both those guys were supposed to be in the backfield that game.
I would have loved to
Yeah.
see Justin at running back just because, I don't know, guys, if you see Justin Lind on campus, he is a meaty dude. He can
He's
just
got
run.
tree trunks for legs.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I would have loved to see that, but he had an awesome
He had a
game.
tackle as well on special teams. So
Meaty is a great way to describe Justin.
So
Lind. Drew, who you got?
I'm gonna take a page out of the Christian Bond playbook and go with a unit. I'm gonna take a unit.
Ooh.
The PLU offensive
Miami
backfield.
Dolphins?
No, the PLU offensive backfield that would consist of John Walker, Darren, and the new kid on the block, TJ Morris. That backfield was incredible. I think that's the best that backfield's ever worked, from mesh point to a ball out. I think it's really nice to see. And, it's crazy. Darren back-to-back 100-yard rushing weekends. John gets 3 touchdowns and then gets his butt out of the game, thank God. Can I ask you a question, Lacey?
Sure.
Is 1 week, just 1 week, we ask in here, is John going to be your hero of the game just like one time?
He was the first week in here,
The first week in here?
and you guys all laughed at me, so I haven't done it since.
No, it's I think they've proven that they've gotten better from last year. This group of young guys is no longer young, and I think it's awesome to see guys like Walker Lavoie and Nolan Hoover, guys who don't take a ton of reps in practice, just to come into the game and that next man up mentality and perform. I think it's great.
All right, so we got the final game of the season this weekend at Linfield. I want to take a little bit of time to kind of look back at the season and kind of talk about what stood out to each of us as we watched this PLU football team all year long. Kellen, what stood out to you?
Well, I think the 3 things that we have on the dock here, QB controversy, the incredible defense of the close football games, are so true. But what I would have to say is we are such a different team than last year. And I love asking my dad, hey, Dad, what did you and the other football coach talk about, the other head coach for the opposite team? What did you guys talk about before the game? And it never fails. Every coach has come up to my dad and said, you guys are so much better than last year. And that's a huge compliment. It's hard to hear this as a player, but we're literally about a minute away from being 9-0. A minute away from being 8-0. My fault. 9-0. That's looking into the future. 8-0, and so it's frustrating to know that we're so close. But again, we wouldn't have it any other way. We lost these close football games because honestly, we weren't quite ready play-wise against Whitworth. We have a play setup called Oklahoma that we ran against Lewis and Clark, where I catch a 15-yard dig and pitch it to beast mode. Justin Lind, who comes across the middle. We didn't have that play in against Whitworth. If we would have had that play in against Whitworth, that would have been so much fun to run on the last play of the game. So again, we look back. There were some times where it came down to some execution that we didn't quite convert, but we were so much better than last year. And for me, some people might think, oh, the 2 quarterback system was a bad idea. It was not a bad idea. You look at Cole Chandler, he was 12 of 13 last year against Fox. He's got a great frame, a good arm, can run. Somebody better tell me why we should be giving him a heck of a look. And then you got John Schaub, who has one of the best arms in the Northwest Conference, but he's fragile. He's coming off a knee surgery. So in my opinion, guys, if we could do this season over again, I would have done the 2 quarterback system 100 out of 100 times. And it's fun to see Walker starting to get some reps. In my opinion, Walker has a good of an arm as those guys as well. And I'll get to that later in the show. But honestly, guys, this season came down to the last minute of a couple games, and we just weren't quite ready in those situations. But it's going to be exciting for us to play against a top football team in the nation, against Linfield, and I think we're going to surprise a lot of people in Oregon.
That's fair. Lacey, what stood out to you?
Well, Kellen kind of already hit on it. I would argue that it's no longer a 2 quarterback system, but a 3 quarterback system for you guys. And yeah, it was frustrating at times, but I think for us in studio, it was so fun to talk about the different styles of quarterbacks out on the field. And I think the team really handled that well when one player went down and they had to look to a different quarterback to run their offense. I think there were so many exciting plays that happened this season, and I think next week we should do a little blurb on what our favorite play was of the whole season. I think that'd be fun. I have a couple in my head right now, but I'll save them.
We can do that.
But my favorite game of the entire season was UPS. Just was it a couple weekends ago when the Lutes played UPS, and
I don't remember. I was knocked out. I don't remember what you're talking about.
We deserve combat pay for watching that.
oh
game,
my
Owen.
goodness,
The first
battle.
3 quarters of that game were equivalent to combat pay.
and we still came out on top. I mean, the Lutes were getting hit left and right and coming off the field, crawling off the field. That was such a fun game to watch, to see Walker go in there and just take control. And yeah, my favorite game of the season by far.
Yeah, that's fair. Drew, what stood out to you?
This quarterback merry-go-round, as much as we all sit here and we're like, yeah, we love the 2-quarterback system, it was never a 2-quarterback system. The 2-quarterback system failed. There was too many injuries to make it a 2-quarterback system. It was whoever was the healthier guy at the time was playing more. I think that John Schaub proved in this last week that there's a reason he was the number 1 guy. I think it was proven very, very quickly. Next, I think that Cole Chandler better get healthy because Walker Lavoie proved he can spin it. And the kid I think he's got a little bit of John in him, and he's got a little bit of Cole in him. I think he's got a little bit of both guys in him, and I think Walker Lavoie may make a surge up to that job if Cole doesn't hurry up and get healthy. And then finally, I like what Nolan Hoover has been doing. Kid can spin it. Wouldn't be surprised if he works his way into a couple snaps next year, too, if we continue this multiple quarterback system. However, the guy I want to talk about is Darren Hardgrove. There's no guy on that team who works harder than Darren. There's no guy on that team who put more into the offseason preparation. I think Darren lost something like 15 pounds in this offseason to get quicker, to not be so bulky. And you can see it has paid off as the season has gone on, as his carries have gone up, his yards have gone up, his production's gone up. I think that PLU offensive backfield has been the bright spot of this season.
That's fair. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my hat in.
And you broadcasted the games.
Yes, I broadcast the game. I'm going to piggyback kind of off what you said. That the games being close are something that I'm very thankful for. I wouldn't want to watch a bunch of 48-14 games one way or the other. They get old after a little bit. They're nice every once in a while, but watching the football team play those close games was extremely entertaining and something I enjoyed. The other thing is the defense, I think, stood out the most to me. When I sat down with Coach Scott Westering at the beginning of the year to write the preview for the football team, he told me, we got this no-name defense. We got, all these guys are B athletes, and if they can do it together, they're going to be very, very successful. And it's exactly what they did, Sure, you have your Travis McMillians and your Derek Chases and your guys who are getting, 10 tackles a game, but there's also a handful of guys who have 3 tackles and 4 tackles, and that's getting it done as a unit. The PLU defense has been arguably one of the best defenses in the conference. And it really helped the team be in those close games, so they were extremely fun to watch.